There are moments in life when everything feels like it's collapsing at once. Plans fall apart. People change. The future you carefully imagined begins to blur into something unfamiliar. You try to hold on tighter to fix, to manage, to control, but the harder you grip, the faster things seem to slip away. It feels like standing in the middle of a storm, desperately trying to command the wind to stop. And when it doesn't, a quiet panic begins to rise inside you. Why can't I fix this? Why can't I make things go my way? In the philosophy of Zen Buddhism, there is a quiet but powerful truth. Control is often an illusion. Not because you are weak, but because life itself is fluid, unpredictable, ever-changing, beyond complete grasp. The suffering you feel is not always from what is happening, but from your resistance to it. You were never meant to control everything. And perhaps, the more you try, the further you drift from peace. What if the problem isn't that life is out of control, but that you believe it should be? Think about how exhausting it feels to constantly resist reality, to replay conversations in your mind, wishing they had gone differently, to hold on to people who have already let go, to cling to outcomes that refuse to unfold the way you planned. Resistance is heavy. It builds tension in your body, noise in your thoughts, and restlessness in your heart. It convinces you that peace will only come when everything aligns perfectly. But life has never worked that way. The river does not stop flowing because you demand it. And when you try to swim against it, you don't control the current. You only tire yourself out. Zen teaches something deeply counterintuitive. Suffering increases when you argue with reality. Not because reality is always kind, but because your fight against it creates a second layer of pain. There is the situation itself, and then there is your refusal to accept it. One is inevitable. The other is optional. And that realization, though uncomfortable, can begin to set you free. Letting go is often misunderstood. It sounds like giving up, like losing, like admitting defeat. But true surrender is none of those things. It is not the absence of strength. It is the refinement of it. It is the quiet decision to stop forcing life into a shape it refuses to take. To loosen your grip, not because you don't care, but because you finally understand that control is not where peace lives. There is a moment, subtle, almost invisible, when something shifts inside you. You stop asking, "How do I fix this?" and begin asking, "How do I live with this?" That question changes everything. Because instead of trying to dominate life, you start to move with it. Like a tree bending in the wind, instead of breaking against it. Surrender doesn't erase pain, but it removes the struggle around it. And in that space where resistance once lived, something unexpected begins to grow. Clarity, stillness, and a quiet kind of strength you didn't know you had. When life feels chaotic, your instinct is to search outward for stability. You look for answers, reassurance, certainty, something solid to hold on to. But the world rarely offers that consistency. It changes too quickly, too unpredictably. And if your peace depends on everything staying the same, you will always feel like you're standing on unstable ground. Zen points you in a different direction, not outward, but inward. It suggests that stillness is not found by controlling the chaos, but by becoming steady within it. Like the eye of a storm, calm does not mean the absence of movement. It means the presence of awareness. When you sit with your thoughts without chasing them, when you feel your emotions without trying to silence them, something remarkable happens. The chaos doesn't disappear, but it loses its power over you. You begin to realize that peace was never something you needed to create, it was something you needed to uncover. There is a quiet fear beneath the need for control, the fear that if you let go, everything will fall apart. That without your constant effort, life will collapse into something worse. But look closely at your life. How many things have unfolded without your control? How many moments, connections, opportunities arrived unexpectedly without force? Life has a rhythm, not always the one you want, but one that moves nonetheless. When you try to control every step, you interrupt that rhythm. You replace flow with friction. Zen invites you to trust, not blindly, but deeply. To trust that not everything needs your interference. That sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is step back and allow life to reveal itself. This doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting without attachment, moving forward without needing to control the outcome. And in that space, something extraordinary happens. You begin to feel lighter, freer, more alive. Imagine what it would feel like to no longer carry the weight of needing everything to go your way. To wake up without the constant pressure to fix, to predict, to control. To simply experience life as it comes, fully, honestly, without resistance. That is the freedom Zen speaks of. Not a perfect life, but a liberated mind. Because when you release control, you don't lose power, you reclaim it. You redirect your energy from forcing outcomes to living moments. From managing everything to understanding yourself. You begin to notice the small things again. The quiet beauty, the fleeting peace, the simple truth that life, even in its unpredictability, is still worth experiencing fully. And maybe, just maybe, life was never out of control. Maybe it was always moving exactly as it needed to. And the only thing you needed to change was the way you held it.